Welcome to Tibra's Den, everyone. My name is Whitney, and welcome to today's speed build. Just in case you haven't checked out my other videos, we are doing a series based on the 7 deadly sins. We've already done pride, greed, wrath, and lust. I will leave the playlist linked in the description below as well as at the end of this video, so definitely check them out. But this week we were working on envy, so we created that sim on Monday, and today we are doing her build. And also, just a little backstory, I decided to make all of the 7 sins half sisters, and so that kind of plays a part in this as well. And so for Envy, she wants to be a successful actress like her sister Lust is. She's envious of all her sisters in one way or another, but she's particularly envious of Lust. And so that wanted to kind of play on that. So we are in Del Sol Valley. I put Lust up in like the gated community area, and Envy's down here in kind of the up and coming. And her house isn't bad by any means. Like, it's not like a little dinky trailer or anything like that, but it is pretty modest compared to her other sisters. Because even, Pride and Greed have really nice homes, really nice apartments, and Wrath, her place is a little bit more modest, but she's also in Sulani, which is probably a little bit more of an expensive place to live. And so I definitely think Envy kind of gets down on herself that she doesn't have as nice of a place as her sisters do. And so yeah, that's kind of what we're working with here. And this is probably the first build I really tried to look at the surrounding area that EA had created and play off of that. And so I tried to make the house as similar as I could to the other houses surrounding. And so I did give her like a little shed because I noticed several of them had that. Behind the house they had like a little shed garage area, and so I wanted to give her that, and so I figured that actually worked for her because she definitely would need to work on her skills quite often. And so that's like her little studio area. She doesn't use it as a garage, but she has like a little studio area in there where she practices her acting, and she has like some gym equipment and some music equipment, just a little place where she can get up her skills. And then I also added like a little photography area in there as well, because she probably doesn't have a lot of money, and so she probably does her own like headshots and things like that to the best of her ability, obviously. So that's what that little garage area is going to be. And then otherwise her house, like I said, it is kind of modest, but it's a fairly nice house, I would say. The hardest part for me was trying to match the green colors, because half the time the colors that matched, I just didn't like whatever item that was, or the style of it, or whatever the case may be. So I actually ended up just anything that was green kind of went, and I think it does fit this sim as well. I think she would just kind of get whatever she would be able to afford, and not necessarily be able to create the perfect aesthetic, or place that really, really matched well, if that makes sense. And so that's kind of what I ended up going with. And I actually really like this house. Green is not my favorite color, but I think just the mix and match aspect of everything I really liked, because that's kind of how I am in my own life. Like, nothing really matches or goes together. It's just like an oddball collection of things. And so I kind of like that's where I went with this house. And I definitely tried to do more with the terrain, like blend it a little bit more, and then do the dirt around, which you can see I'm doing that right now. I did it kind of around the fence and the buildings, which normally I don't do, but like I said, I am trying to get better at building, and I know that's a tip that a lot of other sim builders say to do, so I'm trying to get better at that for sure. But it's not always easy, and I kept the outside pretty minimal as far as like terrain and plants and such, but I definitely do more with it. I don't leave it as is. Just kind of working on the floor plan now. So there's going to be 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, one for guests and such, and then one as an ensuite. And then there is, of course, the kitchen and dining room area over there. But yeah, that's her little house, and like I said, it is cute, and I like that she has her little studio area out there. And actually, there's a couple things I would change watching this back. The guest bathroom, or the main bathroom, not the ensuite bathroom. I would have actually put the door in the hallway, because I actually put that out in the living room. And I suppose if you do have a guest, or somebody else that lives in the second room, it's kind of awkward to have to go all the way out and around. So I probably would have switched the door placement on that, because I don't leave it where it is now either. I actually put it on the end facing the front of the house. So I would change that a little bit. But otherwise, I really like, how everything kind of turned out and was placed. Really struggled with the wallpaper in the kitchen, as you can see. I didn't like how it was looking with the floor, and I really wanted to use that floor, so I ended up going with like more of a mint color for the kitchen, and then using the wallpaper you see there, which I think worked better, and I'm glad I went that route, because it was a mess beforehand. So, and now I decided I didn't like the fence, and I was trying to find the fence that they used on the other property, but it's probably a debug item, and so I just used a fence that I thought matched closest, and I ended up going with that fence right there. I thought it was a little bit better than the little tiny fence I had originally, so that's what I decided to do. And this front area I did keep very, very basic. Just some plants, and I do put a chimney up top. But up front, I just did some plants. I actually forgot all about the deck. I didn't do anything with the deck at all. I probably should have put like couple little chairs or something out there. So that's definitely something I'm gonna have to go back in and fix later. But I didn't do it at this point, and I forgot all about it later. And so that's something I'm gonna have to go and fix. And there's also another fix I need to do, which you will see later. I'm sure you'll catch it. That I didn't catch until I was editing this, and I was like, oh. And then I thought I caught it when I did it, and then I thought, well, I'll probably go back and fix that. And then I went through the rest of the video while I was editing, and it never got fixed. So definitely a couple things I need to go back in to do. But yeah, pretty basic as far as the landscaping go. Like, I didn't go too crazy with it. Just the hedges there, and a couple of plants, and a couple of trees. And then out here I did do like a nice little entertainment patio area, which I actually really liked. So she has just a tiny grill. Like I said, she doesn't have a lot of money, and she probably spends most of her money like on clothes, to look good for her like auditions and such, rather than objects for her house. And so this is her like a little seating area, and then of course she had the picnic table and just a tiny little grill, some lights there, and then I actually give her like some more like party stuff, I guess, which would be more fitting of like university student or something. But I'm sure she's kind of more of a party girl. I get that feeling from her than her sisters. And so she probably definitely would like to entertain and bring over her co-stars and things like that, and just kind of have fun all around. And so I gave her like the juice pong table and the juice keg thing, and then like a little fire area where they could sit, and have a fire. And then of course she doesn't have enough money for a pool, but she has this slip and slide where they could have a little bit of fun. And then I just did like a little portable bar as well. I figure she would definitely be having some drinks at her get-togethers. So, but yeah, that's her little outdoor area. I mess around with it a little bit more, but this is where I make the mistake that I need to go fix. So the tree's coming in the studio, and so I ended up moving that out a little bit, but then it's in the gravel that I put, well, not the gravel, like the stone that I put down, which I did go back. I meant to go back and fix that. And obviously I never did, or I just didn't notice that I put it in the stone and it's no longer in grass. Like I don't really know what I did at the time because I was really enjoying the series, and so I recorded these like weeks ago. And so yeah, it's kind of a mess there, but that was the mistake. And yeah, so this is her little studio, and I was just trying to think of the different skills required. Which one is handiness, and I think I go in and give the place like the gremlin trait, so things will break, so she has to work on her handiness because obviously she can't afford to just replace things. And then in here, like I said, I figured she would do like her own screenshots or headshots or whatever they're called, and then dancing, and I think guitar is one, and then fitness I know is one as well. And so I just put, like I said, just some different objects around uh, that would help her build her skills in there. And then I kind of made it look like, she'd be kind of dressing herself up and such to make her screenshots look really good. And so I have that as well. And then this is probably all the places she wants to visit. And so she has a little board, like a dream board, like of places that she wants to visit. But yeah, you can see I moved the tree out and I never went back and fixed that. So that was a whoopsie on my part. And then, yoga just for wellness. I could see her doing that as well. So, and I think that's it for the studio. A few more things. A few more of the Moschino pack things. I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, just for a few more of those, and then that's it. Like, I do have to go back in because I forget that you can't dance unless you have music, and so I did have to go back in when I was playtesting and put a stereo down, but that was pretty much it. And now for lights, which normally I try not to do lights. I just do the saucers there, but I've been trying, like I said, to make my builds more interesting and get better. And so I've been trying to use lights, and I hate doing the lights, but this is what I ended up with. Tried a couple different things, but ended up just using what I have here. So, and now on to the bathrooms, and I ended up not using what are those from Eco Lifestyle, the toilet and the bathtub I put in the other room, and then the sink, just because it looked really, really odd in that bathroom. Like, even though the aesthetic and the color green kind of varies, it looked horrible in the bathroom. So I ended up changing that up to go with a green that kind of fit the tile a little bit better, if that makes sense. And so yeah, that's what we're working on here. And I mean, they're pretty basic as bathroom goes. Nothing fancy. They're not, that big or extravagant or anything like that. So, but yeah, it's just pretty basic. And in this bathroom, like I said, I would have definitely moved the door where the shower was and put the shower on the other side. That actually makes more sense. And then in here, I was going to do the same thing where I did multiple rugs, but in the end, I decided just to do the one rug in front of the shower. I don't think she would really care too much about her guests. She's more concerned with herself. So, but yeah, little stand there, which is a slightly different color green, but I think it still works in the place, in the space overall. So, and then I do a little window back here instead of that big window. I think it definitely worked better. And just the kitchen is actually, I think, fairly big. Definitely a lot of space, which I kind of filled it up with appliances, you know, microwave and coffee maker, and there's like the hot plate I think we got with Snowy Escape, I want to say, which I never had seen it before, but I think because I normally sort by color, and it just happened to come in a green color, so I thought that actually worked really nicely. So I put that down as well. And then there is like a little island. I do a little island, and I do the round one. So, and I tried these pieces here because I had never used them before, but then I couldn't get the middle part to fit, so I ended up just scrapping those and using the pieces I normally use as well. So, but yeah, just a cute little island there, and like I said, there's her appliances, which are definitely more mint, which goes with the kitchen overall. So I'm really glad I ended up changing the color to more of a mint green than the green I was trying to go with before. That just was not working out at all. So yeah, just cluttering it up now. I don't see her being overly cluttered. Like I said, she can't afford a whole lot anyway. So just kind of your basics in this area, I think. And then this is going to be the little dining room area. I thought this table was really cute and went well overall with the color scheme in here. And then these chairs aren't my favorite, but they work. So that's what I went with for that little area. And then I put like a couple of the china cabinets and like the buffet thing over on one wall, and then just some decorations over on the other wall. But you can see I'm still going through and finding bits and odds to put around here and there. And then I go with this more, like, I guess jade green, I want to say. I could be mistaken. I'm not very good at the different shades, especially of green. So, but that's what I went for the china cabinets. I don't think there was a whole lot of options in green, but that's what I went with. And I kind of like I said, you know, the pieces she puts in her house aren't always perfectly matching because she just kind of has to do what she can afford. So, and that wall was looking a little empty, so I put the pillars around the little plants I put there as well. And then for this area, you know, some drinks there. And I actually go down to just one and then put a little seating area over here. I really wasn't sure what to do with this area, and so that's what I ended up doing. And so maybe if they're just, you know, she has a guest over and they're just having some coffee or something like that, they might sit over there and have their coffee instead of going like sitting at the full formal table, I guess. And then of course there's the island as well, but I like that little area, you know, just sit and drink coffee in the morning. And then now we are on to the little living room area, which again, nothing too extravagant or fancy. The couch and the chair don't quite match. They match in style but not in color, which like I said kind of goes with this character. And I actually really like that table. I don't think I've used it before, but I really, really I like it, and I like it in the green specifically. I think it works really nicely for that. And then I put like a little computer area over here and just tried to fill up the space with some big paintings. And then she has like a duplicate there, which I think is fine. Maybe they came as a set. And just a little end table over here with some bits and bobs, you know, a little chicken and plant, and then I put a smart speaker up there as well. I was trying to put something on the bottom shelf, and then I just got fed up and said forget about it. So and now we are on to the bedrooms, and I forget to delete the middle wall there, and I'm not sure if it will affect the wardrobe or not, so that might be something I have to fix later on. I mean, it doesn't really matter for aesthetic purposes. I actually kind of like it, but it might cause issues with with the gameplay if you use the wardrobe to change clothes, which I normally don't, so it's really not an issue for me. But if you guys download it from the gallery, which my gallery name is Nidra, Nidra 87. So if you want any of these builds or the characters, I don't upload all of them on the gallery, but I have been trying to upload these guys. So some of the previous ones are already up there, but some of these aren't. And I do use custom content, and so make sure you have that box checked. Not all my builds have custom content, but I know like Deligracy has said if you put any custom content, then all your builds get flagged regardless. And so just make sure you check that box as well. And yeah, so but I will be uploading this build, and so if you want to use the wardrobes for gameplay, you might have to mess around with that a little bit if it doesn't work with the wall in the center. So but yeah, this is her. The room on the right is obviously her room, the master with the bath attached. And then this room over here is the guest room. Again, just kind of bits and pieces that don't necessarily match or go together, but definitely loves the color green. So we are now on to our walkthrough of the build. Like I said, I forgot to do anything with that front porch area. And then there's also screenshots at the end. I like to include both because I like the walkthrough to kind of get more of a feel of the layout. And then I like the screenshots to catch like little details. But I'm going to leave you guys here. I hope you have a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday. We will be working on gluttony, I believe. So have a great weekend, guys. Bye.